right? Uh, and then I said, okay, transitioning into tech is a problem. So what do you want to do in tech? And then I give her a lot of options. Uh, I mean, obviously she says this is difficult, that is difficult, this is difficult, but I want to transition into tech. I want to do tech. Okay. But you want to do tech, but you don't want to do the work. So, and I gave her an option. I said, well, there is also software testing. He said, wow, that really will be very hard. I said, it is not hard. The fact that you can observe things and make corrections, you can, the fact that you can observe anything at all, right? And you can make your observation, it means that you can be trained in software testing, the act of software testing, and you do well in the career. That's just the truth. It's one of those productive careers out there. Uh, I mean, it's so beautiful in the technological team. You tend to review everyone's work from the product designers, PROD, to the Figma that the UI UX person is going to design, to the code that the developer has written. I mean, everything you review, and you even get feedback from customers, give advice on enhancement requests and all of that. Yeah. So, uh, Ikena, Sylvester, are you ready for me?
Yes, please, we can start. Okay, just because I'm recording now, so we can start now, please.
Oh, okay, nice. Good morning, everybody. Um, okay. Uh, yeah, blessing. So you can help me post that we're live, right? So that everyone can be on the call. All right. Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Godspower. I'm a software QA engineer. I don't like saying quality assurance. I mean, I'm going to tell you why as we progress, because most times it's really not the word for it. Yeah, that's the truth. Um, Guess you can see my screen. So today I'll be talking briefly on the Ministry of Test, the myths and reality of software testing. All right. Most of the things I'll be teaching today were things I learned from James Badge. James Badge is my mentor. He's one of the Apple foremost uh, testers. He was a test manager at Apple Computers. Way back 2001, 2002. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. Uh, I love and respect him, and I've learned so much from him. Okay. Okay. So let's go. Um. Okay. Okay. I need to. Okay. Good. So first, what is software testing for people on the call that might not know what is software testing? Well, checking the internet, a lot of people have different definitions of software testing, which really do not. Uh, and Yeah, Emmanuel, yeah, and that's one of the problems that we have, right? Because people really do not have understanding of what software testing is. So, and it's not even a very familiar career path, right? I'll say that because except for the last 2 years that a lot of people are now talking about tick, a lot of people are now talking about software testing. Many people didn't know what software testing, uh, what the career path is. And in case you're on this call or you'll be watching this video later, software testing is one career path that is very, very, is something I would advise you to explore. Reason is because we have too many developers already. We have too many UI UX designers already. We have too many product managers already. We have too many cybersecurity experts already. We have too many data analysts. If as we speak, a lot of people are still learning data analysts as we speak this very minute. But the truth is, nobody's going to tell you. Every work these guys are going to work on must be tested by a department called software testing department, and it is very, very profitable. I've seen companies that do not have a cybersecurity expert, but so long you are going to have a development team and there's going to be a developer, there must be a tester to test that code. So, what is software testing? Software testing is about evaluating products by learning about them through exploration, experimentation, some degree of questioning, studying, modeling, observation, and inference. So I'll take it one after the other. We say software testing is about evaluating product. Evaluating product means you have to really understand, know the product, and then give your judgment, right? And then how do you do that? By learning about them. We learn about products, be it a web, be it a mobile application, whatever it is. I mean, you must learn about it. The reason why you must learn about it is that if you don't learn about the product, you will not be able to give proper, um, you know, you will not be able to give proper knowledge, all right, proper judgment on the product. Sorry, I was distracted a minute. Yeah, so, and that's, you learn about them through exploration and experimentation. You explore products. So it is not just about checking between pass and what phase. And that's one of the biggest myths we have in software industry today. I will just call that my first myth, is that people feel that software testing is all about pass and fail. Right. Yes, you are going to do some degree of verification and validation. Does this product meet with my expectation? Right. Does it meet with what we are expecting? Are we building the right product? Are we building the right way? It's fine. But beyond that, there are lots of other aspects that you need to check for the product. So software testing is you exploring the product. And I was talking with some of my people yesterday or day before yesterday, I can't remember. And I told them, I said, one of the foremost explorer, people that discover Africa, was Mongo Park. They just put their boats on the water, and then they say, you know what, let's say to this side, let's see what's going on in the other side of the world. That's how they discover Africa. So you pick up a mobile application, a website, or whatever product you're being given to test, then you begin to explore it. I'm going to test for flying boats. I'm going to put flying boats on the sea and sail with it. That's fine. It's sailing fine. And then, okay, what if I remove this flying boat and put it on the land? Because it is expected that a flying boat is supposed to sail on the water. But we need to also test what about the scenarios where we put a flying boat on the land and it is driving on the land. If it does that, it means that it might crash, and it means that there's a problem. So aside checking what the product should do, we also test for what the product is doing that is not expected to do. So you only find that when you explore the product and when you experiment it. Experimentation has to do with you doing things and then see how it works. As a child, we did a whole lot of experimentation while I was growing up, connecting batteries to wire, and then we're putting a bulb. I don't know if you guys do it in Ghana. A lot of experiments. And then later on, we put from negative to positive, and then we say, wow, it's producing light. That's how people, and that's some of this experimentation that we've gotten while we were growing up, right? So this is what software testing is all about. You explore the product, you experiment it, and while you're experimenting it, you are asking some degree of questioning. As a matter of fact, there is no product without questioning. There is no product without questioning. If you are testing and you are not asking the right question, you are making your way to deploying one of the worst products. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's assume Living Faith is a very big church worldwide. Okay, let me not use church. Let's assume we want to, yes, World Cup is coming 2 years from now, I guess, 2027, and then America will be hosting the World Cup. And then let's assume we want to build an application that will help the whole world to register for World Cup attendance, stream World Cup live matches, and all of these things, right? And then you are not asking questions like, okay, how many countries are we expecting to be able to use this application? What traffic are we expecting each from every country? Do we have the bandwidth? So if 30 million people are trying to view this match at the same time, will our system crash? Let's try and test when people who have low network, maybe 2, 3G, and then they are trying to stream from rural area. with the kind of HD videos that we are going to produce, will it be able to, will they be able to stream? We ask a whole lot of questions. Okay, we want to have a drone that is going to capture everyone that is viewing from Ghana, viewing from Kenya, viewing from Nigeria, viewing from every angle. Let's build a drone that is going to move from point A to point B to all viewing centers in Ghana that will display that match. Okay, then we need to test the drone. So testing this drone, do we just check if this drone can fly from point A to point B alone? No, we need to test if this drone move from point A to point B, at what speed? How many kilometers can this drone cover a day? How do we charge this drone? Are we going to be depending on solar, or we should have a battery? If you are depending on solar, remember it will not be sunny all the time. So if it runs down, the drone is going to crash. So if you are having a solar as a test in your product requirement document as a tester, you are coming up to say, okay, let me ask you a question. What if there was no sun for 3 days? How do you intend to keep this up? And then you begin to give them what we call an analysis request. Say, you know what, let's have an alternative of battery. What kind of batteries are we going to put? And the battery is going to be so heavy that it probably slows down the speed of the drone. Okay, what if the drone is flying from point A to point B, another drone is flying from point C to A? Will there be collision? Do we have a sensor where this drone can detect that other flying objects or other objects are near it, so it can protect itself from collision? Right. What if it's raining? What if there is lightning? Do we have a thunder arrestor that we protect this device from damaging? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So is there going to be like an admin portal, like a dashboard, where we are viewing all of the activities of this drone from a point? Are we going to label or number these drones, right, from where they are coming from, so that we know that drone 821 is deployed to Ghana, and then from 801 to 900 are all in Ghana. Then 801 is flying from I don't know, Ghana, right, from one place in Ghana to another place in Ghana. The other one is covered. So you know, when people report to you to say, okay, we cannot see any drone in our viewing center, and then you know, okay, you're not seeing any drone in your viewing center because that particular drone that was supposed to be that was deployed to your center is 855. Let us know what's going on with 855. How do we replace it? All of this. So I mean, the list is endless. It cannot. So the point is that testing is not just all about you checking a product whether it passes or fails. It's all about you questioning a product, right? What can this product do? And then you are trying to find the breakpoint. Okay, you asked me to log in with a valid email and invalid password. A valid email and valid password. I put a valid email, I put an invalid valid password. Okay, successfully logged in. Congratulations to the developers. Let me quickly say this. Everybody in the technology team wants the product to go live, to do well. We testers want to find why the product will not do well, even when we deploy. So we have a different goal from everyone. Our goal is to make sure that we stress that application to the point that it breaks and there's a problem. And then we say, you know what? It's breaking here. Let us fix that problem here. So while I'm testing with valid email and valid password, I check with invalid email and invalid password. I check with SQL interjections. I check with blank email feed and then valid password. I check with trying to put emojis. I mean, I have broken the system by just simply entering love emoji. I don't know how it works. Well, I just put too many love emojis, and then the next thing was the system crashed. So testing is questioning, studying, modeling. I mean, I don't want to dwell so much on it. Modeling has to do with you, using pictorial imagination around a given phenomenon. You are picturing, you have an image of what you want. Whether you are married on this call, you have an image of how you want your kids to be, the kind of schools they want to go to. You already picture the kind of woman, the kind of man you want to marry, the kind of house you want to buy, and all of those stuff. So that's what testing is. You've heard about the product that I want to build for FIFA, okay, and then you picture something, you say, you know what, this should have this, it should have these features and all that. So that's what testing is. Let me run along, right? So testing requires multidisciplinary skills. It requires your creativity. It requires you to know some degree of mathematics. It requires you to be a detective, because if you don't find that bug, there's a fraudster somewhere that will find the bug and break the system, and then move your company's money. And the first person department that the companies will come to is the testing department. How come we lost so much money? What were you doing? You probably were not testing. All right. I mean, testing is scientific. It requires critical thinking. All of my questions I was asking around drone was because of my critical thinking skills. Okay, you ask questions. How did it happen? Why did it happen? When does it happen? In fact, I have tested a system that has, I mean, like all of these fintech, I don't want to call them. So I have 23,000 naira inside my account, and I try to transfer 20,000 from the account. I'm like, you know what? Let me just try to transfer this money from this different device the same time. Voila, I imputed the amount, and then I click on send the same time. I got credit of 40K and debit of 20K from my account. Because developers have written the code and then they've forgotten to make sure that while you are logged in here, you're logged out elsewhere. Even when you are logged in both sides, you cannot perform the same function on the same device the same time. And even if you do that, there were a lot of logics that they would have written that would have prevented that kind of mistake. I mean, if I had reported, but if I was a terrible person, I just load in 5 million, right? I transfer 5 million. That's times two of the money. That's 10 million. And I get debited for 5 million. But the system have lost 10 million because a developer hurriedly deployed code. So testing is all about critical thinking. You're thinking, where is this problem coming from and how do I solve this problem? Testing is sociology, psychological. I mean, you have to do a whole lot of brain work. So testing is like mining. You dig it out gold from mines. You dig out gold from mines. Look, it is not really stressful, but you have to do some degree of so much work, right, to get all of those things out. Testing aims at discovering the unexpected. Testing is the act of surprising yourself and others about the truth of the product. Yeah, I move on because of time. So some of the common myths in software testing, I have a whole lot. I think I have like how many of these slides? I don't know. They're like 16 or thereabout, but I don't think I'll be able to run through all of them. Are we still together? The room is quiet.
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Charlie, I'm really taking off notes, man. Okay, I don't think you can see our emojis. We're actually giving an emoji also.
Oh, I'm looking at that. Ghana people, how are you doing?
Yeah, we have. Oh, they are sending emojis to you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's go. So what are some of the common myths in software testing? The first one is that testing is too expensive. You know, a lot of company owners, product owners feel or think that testing is expensive. That is, we don't need to pay testers. Why do you have to pay testers? Developers write your code and then you publish the code. I don't need to pay tester extra money to come and test what we have all checked. A common example of this misfortune is your Titanic. I mean, James Bard wrote an article. I don't have time. I would have gone and share you the URL. He wrote an article about why Titanic failed. The creator of Titanic so much had belief on Titanic. And then he says, you know what, this product I built can never fail. As a matter of fact, he fired the person who was testing it. I said, why do I have to pay all of these thousands of dollars for you to test what I am so sure of? Let us deploy. Let everyone begin to cruise using Titanic. And then just the first dive, they lost it. Lives, everything. There was no risk analysis. They had both civilians on board, people who do not have single idea on the ship. They did not educate them ahead to say, in case of this, this is how to use. I mean, a whole lot of mistakes. Even with the submarine, all of that. they made a whole lot of mistake, and the man died out of his ignorance. Testing is not expensive. So it's one of the myths. They say, why do I need to hire testers? I mean, I've been in a conversation with one human resources of a company here in Nigeria, and then she says, well, our business have not been doing well for like 2 years. What do you think is a fintech? I said, okay, how many testers do you have? She says they don't have any testers. I said, how come you don't have testers? How are you even having this kind of product without having someone testing it for you? She said, because it is too expensive. They asking me to pay so and so. So I just told the client told us to just hire developers. Once developers finish building, they test with the product people. I mean, the product people test, but what they test is they are checking their documents, and then they want to be sure that the documents that they have and what has been built, they align. But come on, I used to tell some of my students, you want to build a 4-bedroom duplex, and the document have been so focused on the 4-bedroom duplex, and they did not make plans for having visitors toilet. They only made plan for one toilet. How will 4 people from different forums utilize one toilet? Where is the toilet located at? Well, what about the car park? How many people are supposed to be living in this house? Let's say we are going to have minimum of 2 cars in this house. Can the compound take 2 car park space? Okay, if you will not do that, what is the client's preference? Does he want to have a swimming pool? Okay, if the swimming pool will not fit into this compound, then let's have the swimming pool unlike the penthouse on the rooftop. So a whole lot of questions will have to come into place. Even while they are writing that document, as a tester, you need to review that document, and then you now advise to say, well, hold on. In page 4 of this document, you just made provisions for 1 room, for 1 toilet, for 4 rooms. My clients, this will not work. I think we should make provisions for 4 bedroom and toilets and suites, and 1 for visitors. Because once they are done, building that system, the corrections will be very hard to make. So testing is too expensive is one of the myths in software testing. Testing is not expensive. Ignorance is expensive, because the corrections you are ignoring in the test process will cost your company a huge fortune. All right. Another thing is testing is time consuming. You know what? Let us go live. It has become a problem with companies' owner, managers. I mean, developers took like a month to write those codes, and then you gave us to test just yesterday. Today you want to go live. Don't waste time. We need to go live. Our competitors are already doing it. Yeah, I've seen a whole lot of product that that was deployed, and then in few minutes, in few days, they crashed because they did not deploy a standard product out there. So testing is not time consuming. Another myth in software testing is that testing cannot get started if the product is not fully developed. Who said that? Why do I need the developers to finish writing all the codes before I can start testing? I have had the opportunity to engage in a conversation with one hirer, and the guy said, we can bring you in like next month, because right now the developers are writing their codes, so it's when they are done writing their code that you can start testing. I'm like, okay. So what do you want me to now do? To come and verify if what they have built is what you want? And then if there are corrections for me to make, I was supposed to make them. Why the product person is designing the BROD, I was supposed to make them. Why the UIS person was doing the design. So if I now say, oh, this color does not match. Imagine using a pink background for an app that men will be exploring. All your colors are pink. You think many men will not use the application simply because of the color, pigmentation and all of that. So testing is supposed to start when the product idea and everything start when they are conceiving. So you start testing from the scratch. It's called shift method.
Oh, I feel like abused now because my company app is pink, and I feel bad about that now. Not using.
Uh, is it is it is it an app for both
Yeah, bullet
male
gender
and female?
actually.
Oh wow.
Oh, go
I
ahead,
mean,
go ahead. It's
yeah,
okay. It's
those kind of application, you just look for I mean, people are very sensitive to products. Do you know that? Right.
okay.
Imagine I'm building a product for a Muslim community, right? And then I'm using what was this lady's name?
Pig or
Nick,
pork.
is it no, this other rapper, Cardi B? I'm using Cardi B to model the product, and Cardi B is almost half naked. And then in Muslim communities, like, wow, there's nothing you're going to tell me this application cannot fly. That's what we do as testers. We are the one that pay attention to these things. You don't. Your own is to design a product and push out there. We pay attention to these details. When can this product go live? What do we think these customers will be thinking? Big Brother Nigeria Africa is one very good program. I mean, I don't watch it anyway. I don't have that time. But it's a very popular program in Africa. A lot of people watch it and all of that. You think Big Brother would just come and have one boring show, no games, no nothing, and then people will watch? No, it's all of those excitement, all of those dramas they put that is making a lot of people stream it. So testers are the one that pay attention to these things. So right from the uh, development, right from the product conceiving state and all of that, we make all these corrections so that at the end we are building something that works. Okay. Testing automation reduces time. It should be started whether the software is stable. I mean, another myth in software testing is that automation is the deal. I see a whole lot of HRO, they post out there. We are looking for a tester with at least 1 year experience that is experienced in automation and all of that. I'm like, there is no way 1 year experienced tester can automate a product for you. No way. Why is that person automating? Because the time you will spend trying to write your automation script, instead of you to test, let's say 400, 600 scenarios, you are testing 40 scenarios. Because I mean, who will sit down and write automation script that will cover for 500 scenarios? Who has that time? So start writing driver.get, you start. Nah. So automation reduces time. Yes, for CI/CD pipeline, but please test to the level that you feel even when you now automate, you are covering what you should cover. But trust me, automation do not do the testing. Now, automation tool only test what you have asked them to test. It is when you validate, verify, try scenarios that you find these bugs. So let us keep all of these noises about how many automation tool can who uses it. I saw one JD, the HRO came to my DM and said, "Oh, I want you to work for us and all of that. You must be proficient in Cypress, Selenium, Playwright, JMeter, cyber security tests." Wrote a whole lot of rubbish, and then I replied. I mean, I wish I had a child. I should have pulled it up. I said, "No." I said, "You're not. I'm not the guy you're looking for." And then she said, "Well," I said, "You need a robot. You need ChatGPT to be able to do all of these things for you. How do you think I'll be effective if I'm going to be running performance testing for you? I'm going to be running security testing for you. I'm going to be running automation testing with different tools for you. Come on, you just need a robot. Build one, ask Elon Musk to build one for you, because I will not be effective that way. I will only be effective if you're telling me to choose one part and stick to it. That's why I respect companies that, you know what, they have testers that test apps, they have testers that test APIs, they have testers, because you cannot be doing so many things at once and be good at any. All right. I mean, I know you guys have a lot of questions, but it's okay. Anyone can test. It's another myth in software testing. Anybody cannot test. Anybody can do checks on system and give feedbacks, but everybody cannot test. Yes. a recruiter reached out to me. Was that last week? I said, "Oh, we want you to come and work for us." I mean, before we contacted you, our product person has already been testing. I said, "Okay," and so far so good. The guy has reported um, like 5 major bugs. I said, "So it means your system is well tested. So why do I need to come aboard?" He said, "Let's just have you and all of that." Yeah, we discussed, checked the system in a night. I submitted 122 bugs. And then I told him, I said, as a matter of fact, you need to hire a senior developer to rewrite this entire code, because first problem is that you are using procedural PHP to write a complex system like this. So it doesn't work, right? It means that this code is not scalable and it will be very difficult to maintain. Imagine having a system where you are doing deployments uh, on on different portals, right? Different times for one system. I mean, a whole lot of mistakes out there. I log in, I copy the URL, I log out, I paste the URL somewhere else. I'm still logged in. So a whole lot of problems with the application. I said, this is why anybody cannot be a tester. There are people that test, and these guys are being trained with how to think, how to maneuver their way, and how to check the system. So that's why we are called testers. And that's why you should give us our flowers. That's why you should respect us, because we save you from pushing messy codes out there. So one of the myths is that anyone can test. No, everybody cannot test. Another myth is that software testing is just finding bugs. No, we just don't find bugs. Finding bugs is one of our duty, but we also ensure that we give advices, right? We give advice, information to our clients to help them make decisions. So these are some of the myths in software testing. As we progress, we'll see some other ones. All right. Before I proceed, do we have any question? I need to know that we're following. Do we have any questions?
Hey guys, I'm sure they will have questions. You know what? Can we do this? If you have questions, can you drop on the chat while he's teaching? I mean, so when he's done, he can go through them carefully. Is that okay? So I believe while you're going through your sections, people can also drop their messages on the chat, so we can also go to them when you're done.
Okay, that's fine. Testers are the headlights of projects. Okay. We need to know that testers are the headlights of projects. Because of time, I will not be going through plenty explanations, right? The projects are like a road trip, right? According to my charts. Simple projects are like driving to the store in the daytime, straightforward and familiar. There are some projects that are less complex, right? You cannot see a project like an normal e-commerce website. Whoa, I really don't know how that works, but it's fine. Jola, you cannot uh e-commerce website, for example, is very different from when you are testing a platform like a banking app, right? A banking app, you have to do a whole lot of test coverage and all of that, right? So some are complex than the other, but testers, we are the headlight of the project to guide you on what to do with the project and all of that. Yeah. You serve many clients as a tester. This is just an addition, right? You can, do you mind?
Sure, you can go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. So we serve many clients, right? Um, and our success depends on how we balance the priorities of these different roles. We serve the project manager. We share updates, status update, we flag risk, we avoid delays with the project managers. We serve the programmer, right? We report our bugs to them so that they can fix on time. Because of that, I'm just rushing through them, there are a lot of them. We also serve technical writers. Yes, they've written all they want to write for us to test, for us on the product, like I said. And yes, they've given their overview, and then we come as testers to say, okay, beautiful write-up, but I think we can move flow G to flow H, right? I think we can make this phase 1 and then phase 2 and give them other advices, review what they've written, if there are mistakes and all of that. Because they can just write and forget that there should be compliance issues, legal issues, policies, and all of that. So we do all of this observation and ensure that the entire team stays out of trouble. We also serve the tech support. Yeah, tech support. They ask questions, collect complaints, and all of that. Yes, we highlight useful. We highlight the user. They highlight the user pain point for us. Then assist with field issues, and then we make sure that we also support them. We serve the marketing team. We serve the stockholders and the executive. We serve the users and all of that. Right. Okay. Another thing we do is that testing is testing. Automation and manual are approaches to testing. See, I mean, this is one of the most common myths in software testing. The conversations are all over there. I've written once or twice on this on LinkedIn. Although people want to take what they want to take, they don't care about what they don't really care about. So let's be clear. Testing is testing. Automation and manual are approaches to testing, right? There's nothing such as manual and automated testing in reality. There's simply testing, and some part of it is done using tools. Some part of it is done using the human brain. Look, do we say using washing machine and washing with our hand are different? Both are testing, both are washing, but one we are using a machine which helps us do it faster. Another we are doing it manually, right? But these are approaches, but they are not type of testing. I don't know if we understand what I mean. Anyways, I'm waiting for your questions. Using tool, right, which is some programs, automation tools, suites, and all of that, just helps our work, which we have already tested. It makes it faster for we to run through them one after the other again. But it doesn't mean that these things are what's it called? It doesn't mean that these things are different, you know, that like this, they work differently. Automated does not mean automatic. Any form of testing needs some element of human evaluation. Whether it is automation, I still have to give the scenarios that those tools will cover. Whether it is automation, I still have to write scripts and all of that. So testing in its real sense cannot be automated. I mean, that sounds like, what is he saying? What I've just been saying is the same thing I'm saying, that testing is testing, automation and manual are approaches to test. But we cannot say we can automatically test, because I cannot look for a URL and upload websites and then I say, give me all the bugs in this website. That's what I mean. Because in that website that I've just uploaded, I need to check by myself, what can this do? What can that do? And then I now write scripts to say, you know what, automation to Cypress, help me to be running this errand one after the other. But I was the one that orchestrated it. So if we want to say automation testing, we can say manual testing that was automated. So in the real sense, testing is testing, automation and manual are approaches to testing. Okay. Testers do not assure quality. And this is where we have the problem with word QA, quality assurance. We don't assure quality. We only are quality analysts. Okay. We can only give you pointers to risk that can affect the quality of your product, but we don't assure quality. Do you know why? Because we are not the only guys in the team. We are just part of the team that assures quality. Understand me? We have a product manager who has written the document. Ikena, give me an example of an application that I will explain this with.
Let's talk about a bank app, right? Let's say a bank is rolling out a new feature in their app, right? So how do you go about this?
Yes. So the feature will be what?
Let's say top ups. Okay, let's say one with top ups, like where you can buy credit from the app and buy data from the app.
Okay. And then this is a new feature that our bank, Ikena's Ghana Bank, wants to add to the bank app. Right. Okay. So there's this guy called the product manager who has written a document that we need to be able to that will guide the entire team on what to do. And that product document has only mentioned, I don't know about your network providers there, but I know you guys have Momo agent thing. I've tested some applications around the 2022, 2021. Yeah, MTN is in Ghana. I don't know if Glo is there. it should be. Let's assume we have Glow, Airtel, and MTN, for example. And then the product document only mentioned MTN and Glow. And then they've gone ahead to also collect the APIs from these two networks all along the production, development, and all of that. Nobody remembered that there was a company called Airtel. So when that product goes live, and people are not saying your feature does not contain all of the system, it is not just the testers' fault not to report it. But before this product got to the testers, someone has written a document that didn't point it out. A designer has designed a flow that did not capture it. A developer has written a code that did not. So the entire team is what assures quality. Because you can also suggest to say, you know what, I don't think this product is good to go live. And then the developer tell you, oh, what do you mean? Client owner, the business owner comes and tell you, I don't care whatever you think, but just submit your report. We need to go live. So that's why we say testers don't assure quality. The only thing we do is we do the four, big four. First, we illuminate. Testers are guidance of quality. We only guide you the quality part. All right. We don't create or destroy quality. We only review the quality. The product arrives with flaws. My role is to touchlight those flaws and show them to you. Whether you fix those flaws or decide to push those flaws to production, it is left for you. Testers support. We support builders. We don't blame them. Developers carry the burden of building quality. We only support them. We offer clear, actionable feedback to help them improve. We don't criticize them. So it doesn't mean that I'm telling a developer that your system is crashing. And then he says, well, I can't go back to my code to fix this. I'm like, oh, you know what? This is a pistol on your neck. You just have to fix this code. We don't do that. We only support to say, bro, I think we're having problems with some of your code. Check your code. Fix this. If he doesn't fix that, so how do we assure quality here in Kenya? We can't assure quality. We can only support for you to get quality, but we don't assure quality. Another thing we do here is we test. Beyond quality assurance, test results inform the team. Whether we are getting 90-something failed or broadcast and all of those things, all we've been doing is to test and give you the information about this. All right, so we offer clear, actionable feedback. Okay, so test results inform the team, but quality is built by everyone. Avoid the hero mindsets. Collaborate, don't control. We don't control what happens. You know, in Africa, I don't know if that's what is happening in Ghana, Kenya. When a child behaves certain ways, you know, some of the fathers will say, look at what the mom is causing. The mom cannot train you well. The mother did not do this. The mother, I mean, they put all these blame to the woman. But come on, guy. Both the male and the mother and the father, they see these children growing up. So share the blame across generally. So in the same light, we only test together with everyone. We are not the hero. We are all complaining that, okay, let me not use government. That's fine. But we are all contributory factor. Do you understand? So we all need to do our own part. If you complain about your elected government, but you voted, and then there were some of you that did not come out to vote. So when these leaders that do not represent you comes on board, it is not just the leaders' fault, but everyone in the country, both the people who collected the result and, you know, bypass. So we all share from the blame. We only test to expose what will make your product not quality enough, and we suggest, we support, we advise, but we do not assure quality. Another thing testers do is that we foster humility and partnership. Great testing empowers the entire team to own and improve quality. To own. Ownership mindset. To be like, if this product was for me, I don't think I would like it to go out like this. We can do better with this product. Okay.
Wow. That's fine. Okay, so I think we have a few questions. Thank you so much.
I will stop here for now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's still a lot. A whole lot, a whole lot. You can see. I mean,
Whoa. Wow, wow. That's crazy. Okay, anyway, but then at all, because of our time, though,
yes, yes,
you can also share your style with us in the course of that
that's
when
fine.
you're down. But again, this is amazing for me. And I was discussing with the team of my, I will have a team of guys work as also at the company too. And I was saying, listen, I'm not comfortable with the word quality assurance, and we had to make a change. I said, listen, I can talk about quality assessment, and that's what you just said about analyst. We assess the degree. When I say assure, it means that there's a certainty that there's nothing wrong with the
Yeah,
product, which is never true. So we can assess to the degree of how correct this product is. That's our job to assess it. We assess the risk and we assess the threat, what threatens the value of this product. And that is one thing I believe so much on, and I'm glad we're able to raise that in today. However, I believe we have few questions. Please, if you have questions, kindly, raise your hand so you can ask the questions to him. But then, I had two questions people asked me earlier, which I want to also throw a light on it. One of them says, because I was at an event yesterday, we
yeah.
were at an event in Ghana. I was one of the mentors on Tuesday. I spoke to the young talents there, and they asked me a question like, "Oh, sir, we've not really had our software testing and that. It's very interesting. We don't want to, venture into it." And then he asked me, "How does he start a career in testing, seeing that there are so many misconceptions on testing?" Because I also spoke about the misconceptions. Now the question becomes, I'm asking you now, how looking at the kind of misconceptions we have now, where you even down to job description, they tell you 1 year experience in testing with with software, you have to be automated, that. How can one start a career in software testing, seeing that we have lots of misconceptions that may lead them apart? And remember, wrong knowledge is very dangerous. If I have a wrong knowledge about a thing, it's difficult for me to change it. So how can one start a career in testing with all these issues we have so far?
Okay, I think I have a roadmap for that. Give me a minute. I'll put that up. I'll put that up. I'll put that up. Okay, because of time. Right. Starting a career in testing is easy. First thing, learn how to pay attention and details. Right. Attention to details. Get your critical thinking. Um, Someone wrote me and said, "Oh, I want to learn software testing, but I don't think I can do it." I said, "Okay, have you ever caught your boyfriend cheating?" He said, "Yes, I've caught him twice. He was sleeping. I checked his phone and I saw." I said, "What you did was testing." The fact that you can poke nose, right, to find why to find out that your boyfriend is having conversation with other people is testing. The fact that you can cook and you can test for salt, test for different tastes, and then you add water or whatsoever you do is testing. The fact that you go to a mechanic workshop and you tell them to fix your brake, and after fixing it, you drive it and you are like, okay, the brake does performs better now. It's testing. So we are all testers. As a matter of fact, the God that created heaven and earth was a tester. How did I know that? The Bible told us in Genesis chapter 1, verse 3, and God said, verse 6, and God said, verse 9, and God said, verse 12, and God said. If you look at the later verse of the scripture, the Bible said, and God saw that everything that was created was good, and he rested. That was deployment stage. After Baba everything, he deployed us life. So all those times that he was saying, let there be this, he was setting environments, connecting all the APIs to see if and all endpoints. I mean, it might sound funny to you, but this is how best I can explain it to the people. Say, testing is not a difficult thing, right? It's all about mindset. So if you are new in software testing and you want to start career in software testing, very good. First thing is work on your critical thinking ability. I see a lot of training institutes, what they train you, they tell you how to write test cases. I mean, every Dick and Harry can go on YouTube and learn how to write test cases in less than 6 hours, but it doesn't help them catch meaningful bugs. All right. And then there's one serious misconception that is doing so much harm. It's called best practices. There's no best practices in anything. Look, while I was in secondary school, we had different subjects that we were trained on that we felt it was everything. Now I cannot even have a decent conversation with my cousin in SS2 because she says so many things I don't know. And she brings assignment. I'm like, you know what? I need to get back to you on this. I think I'm busy at the moment. I'm doing research to say, oh God, how did I not know that this lady was at home? So look, you need to work on your critical thinking, because what was a best practice the last time is no longer a best practice this time. So that's one serious misconception I didn't mention about. So if you want to start software testing career, first learn how to pay attention to details. I will tell you, first thing is learn how to ask questions. Learn how to be a detective. You said this product is for top up feature, and then I begin to ask, who can top up? What network can they top up? How much can they top up? Is it that I want to launder money from Nigeria abroad? I can buy 100 million naira top up and then convert it somewhere else to move that money through your system. What is the limit of top up I can do? How do people get bonuses? So when we begin to learn how to ask meaningful questions, that's when we do the real testing starts. Look, the tools, Selenium, Cypress, Playwright, Jmeter, all of these tools, you can learn them on YouTube everywhere. But you see this act of asking questions and knowing what you should do and all of that, it is the real skill you need. So there are other materials that I can recommend. I probably will share a slide. I have like a roadmap for what you should learn the first 4 weeks, what you should learn. Please, if you are new to testing, your first 6 months, you don't concern yourself with automation, please. I mean, if I'll give you my little advice as a child, your first 1 year of learning testing, leave automation. I can tell you the truth. If you get into any company, no matter how good you are in writing code, another 1 year, if you are not able to if you don't expose bugs on your KPI, they are not seeing that this 1 year you have exposed 400, 600 meaningful bugs that help their product do better. They are going to employ another person. They don't need a developer to write code to test. If they needed that, they have developers to write code. Know how to test, how to find bugs, how to improve quality, how to ask meaningful questions. And then you can just learn how to use tools, right, to automate these things. I'm not condemning automation. No, automation is very good. CI/CD pipeline helps us for continuous integration and deployment, makes things faster, but it is not like the hallmark of testing. The hallmark of testing is your ability. See, James Badge is a very good teacher. I'm a student of James Badge. James Badge is a tester, but he also stands trials in courts. You tell James Badge to say, oh, they've sued me for so and so thing. He said, okay, who was there? What happened? How did it happen? He gathers all his evidence and then go to court with those evidence, right? And then helps you win your case. As a matter of fact, he was paid 400,000 in, I can't remember, I think 4 or 8 weeks, $400,000 for standing to testify against Microsoft. Go and Google it. So that's that for that. So yeah, aside automation testing and all of that, please learn the art of testing. Read materials, join communities. Ministry of Testing is a very big platform. Even while I was a baby tester, I'm still a baby tester. I'm still learning. General tester. I was I'm joking. I'm not a general tester. Right. While I was still very while I was still trying to find my part in software testing, Ministry of Testing was one recommendation that a friend in UK recommended to me to say, Ministry of Testing, these guys have tools, right? Go to their website on board and follow them, join community. You're in Ghana, look for communities in Ghana, look for communities in Africa, have conversations, because the truth is the people you discuss things are like, gradually you begin to know what they know, right? So that's just for that. Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, I have another question here for you. I'll jump. You just touched the other second one, so you've touched the second one for us now. The third question is: a lot of employers don't see the need for testing. How do we create that awareness roles in our organizations? Now, you said in your submission that testing is expensive. So, and the truth is, testing is one of the career path in software engineering that does not bring in revenue. Developers build stuff that bring in money, right? But then they don't see testing as a means of something that brings in money for them. Rather, it's something that causes them expense. Like, oh, we have to hire somebody else to just do based on and most times this organization, the employers, they think it's about testing. I mean, clicking and stuff, so you can get a PM to do it or anybody. But then, how then do we kind of get them to understand? Listen, we need to create that awareness that testing is very important. Is really is expedient when it has to do with software development. So how do we create that awareness, and how do we let employers know that testing is very important in organizations?
Hmm. You want to hear my honest answer?
Is that I didn't ask you, someone asked you, we want to hear what you're going to say about that. I mean, you
I
just
go
tell us.
to the system, I find a serious problem. I come voila and say, you know what? I was able to find this because I was a tester. Hire me. And if I was already hired, I say, well, you see that your product is not that quality enough. You need testing to help you expose such risk. And most of the time, it is because there is no so much awareness around software testing industry.
Mhm,
What employers know is that they are, people in tech are developers, cybersecurity specialists, and all of those things. They don't really know that there's testing. That's why awareness like this, webinars and all of that, it's helping people one after the other to know that there is a department, there are people who are specialized in testing. And that's what the product person do is just to check and validate against requirement, not really testing. And that's why I took my time to tell you testing is all about questioning, it's all about asking meaningful questions and doing all of that.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me open it up now. I mean, do anybody have questions they want to ask in the course of this conversation? It's been a very great one. We can take up to like two more questions. Okay, good one. Gideon just sent. Okay, so we are taking. We have slot for one more question though. So Gideon now sent. Is there a link between user acceptance testing, which is mainly done by employees of the organization, and this testing that you're presenting now? Okay, so tell us, what's the difference between UAT and so basically people, I think, like from what Gideon is saying, basically they say UATs are being done by employees. Or for me, I've worked in the banking sector before for a while, and then they will tell you that the UATs are for the SMEs, right? The subject matter experts, those are who use the who connects more with the people. They are the ones who do the final testing. So we have the dev testing, then we have the int testing, then we have the UAT testing before it goes to prod. So he's asking now, the UAT, is there a link between user acceptance testing, which is mainly done by employees of the organization, and this testing that you're presenting now? So what's the difference? What's the link, or what can you say about UAT and the general testing?
The answer is right there for us. UAT is a level of testing. There are
Okay.
four levels of testing. We have unit testing. Another
Mhm.
word for it is component testing. We have integration testing. We have system testing. And when we have user acceptance testing or acceptance testing. Acceptance testing now is when you do your UAT. In UAT, we do beta testing, we do alpha testing. So we test at the developer site. Everybody in the development team come and test, give their review. We test at the customer side. We watching the customer do this product, right? So what you are saying is, what is the difference? Anyhow, you coined your question, but the answer is that that user acceptance testing we do is the last stage. I'll tell you, give you an example of UAT. Yes, I'm going to use Mercedes-Benz for example. Mercedes-Benz is a product. It has been built, it has been tested. And then Ikena wants to buy Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon,
Mm.
2025 model.
Yeah.
He goes to the car shop to say, well, okay, uh, that's even a long example. Before Mercedes-Benz will release 2025, they are going to demo what this product can do and all of that to a set of people. And people give their opinion to say, wow, this is beautiful. I think you guys can just work more on the interior. So UAT is for you to showcase what you have done to people who opinions matter, people who are your end users. Take few of them, like a chunk of them, to give their opinion about the product. And once they are good with everything, you deploy live. Okay, I'll give you another example. Movies. For every movie they shoot today, they do what we call um premiere, right?
Yeah.
Where they come and watch the movie, a group of persons come and watch the movie with the people that are, and then they give their opinion. So that's what UAT is. UAT is that we need our users to test if they will accept this product. That's user acceptance testing. So it does not in any way it does not in any way improvise for other levels of testing. And every levels of testing is needed for every product. The component testing, unit testing, the developer must check every unit, every module, one after the other. Integration testing must check if two interfaces, if two integrations two components can work together without glitch. Now that two can work, we add three, we add four. And then while we compile all of them, we test them as a system. And when we test them as a system, we say, no, before we give it to the public, people who want to use it, what do you feel about this product? Yeah, that's the answer. In a layman's language, yeah.
Wow. It's great. We have one more slot for questions, and I don't know if anybody wants to ask question here. Anybody else? Wow, it's been an amazing time, man. Gospel, I know you're really loaded with a lot of things, and I want to say thank you, and I want to appreciate everybody here for being here and what they are doing. Honestly, we it's amazing for us to have all this is coming up, right? Yeah, Pearl, your hand is up. Can I take the last question?
Hi, Ituna, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you be a bit louder?
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah,
Better.
okay.
Great. How do we get his resources? Because I see that he has like a loaded slide there, and then
Yeah.
the roadmap
Okay,
and all that. How do we get all that?
yeah, I will share the slides with Ikeda, so you can share with you guys the Ghana team.
Yes, awesome. Also, he will send the slides to me. I'm also going to share it via email to all of us. I mean, in the image of test, so we can have access to it and also go through on our own. It's really, listen, Gospel is a very loaded person. I didn't have the time.
Yeah, you know, don't
I,
make me stop now.
I didn't have the time to do a proper intro. This guy, if you know, I mean, he's a very great guy, and he has worked with different people, different nationalities, and he's still working with different people as well. I mean, he's already sought after guys in Nigeria. When you talk about God's power and software testing in Nigeria, actually, that's the guy to go to, And he knows people in the industry too. And you know what? There's something big coming his way in the course of the year. So please, let's anticipate. Let's follow his page. He's a very wonderful person. And yes, I will get his slides. I will share his slides also to all of us here. All we can do is please, if you can drop your emails. I will do that just after we are done with this call. I will do that. I will send the emails to all of us here. I can send the emails on the chat if that's okay by you, and I will send it to you. Okay. So that is one way I can get the slides to you. Well, thank you so much for this moment. We appreciate. We don't
Yes.
know how best to go, but this is really.
How long have what's since when did testing? Seems like it's a new industry in Ghana.
So we are a very young community. We have great testers. As a matter of fact, on the 31st of May, we're having a town hall meeting in person where all the testers will come around. Testing has been there, but the people we've not actually been open to people knowing who we are, what we do. So now it's been like 2 years now that we're trying to get ourselves there to get people to know what we do as testers, and then we're now building the communities. So far, the Ministry of Testing, we have our student branch where we go to schools to speak to students about testing, and they are really excited because they don't even know what test is all about, right? So it's something that we are working on pushing up people to get to know in Ghana, and we are looking at how we can always get them to tell their stories. You see, unlike Nigeria, we have a great community in Nigeria where people always come online and tell stories and talk and write things. In Ghana, we have great testers, but they rarely talk about it. I mean, that's one of the things Ministry of Testing is here to do, to open them up, for them to tell their stories, for them to talk about things, for them to be open and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what we do, this is what testers do. That way we get to hear more about it. So it's a young community. We are growing, unlike you. Everywhere you turn around in on LinkedIn, Nigerians are posting, Gospel can post like, people are like, yeah. And he has lots of followers because of the community we have there. And you guys are really loud. I mean, I'm also a Nigerian though, but we are
Yeah,
loud.
Nigerian.
Yeah, I'm a Nigerian. I'm Ike now, of course. I'm Igbo. Well, I mean, I live here. I reside in Ghana. I reside in Ghana. Yeah, I mean, I've been here for years, and perhaps I might be speaking like them. And yeah,
I mean,
on-
in the like as discussed, I have few conferences coming up this year because
yeah.
I've not done anything for like 2 months because I've been busy with some internal stuff. So we're looking at having guys, we'll be having James Batch lecture for 2 days in July. Um, I mean, he's a teacher. He will teach you how to test and all of that. 2 days lectures is coming up. I'm having serious discount for Africans, right? So the class usually is around $750 for a 4 days class. So he reduced it to 2 days class, and then I said, you know what, do this for my African people for $100, right? And then he will give you certificate of attendance. Trust me, I tested for a year plus and I was doing rubbish. By the time I met James Barrett and said I learned 1 or 2 things from him, I almost wanted to go back to my former employer to say, you know what, I want to refund all the salary you paid me because I was doing terrible testing for you. But the only thing I did was I picked 1 or 2 testers who were there, and then I trained them. Right. So we'll be having that class July. We're looking at. I just spoke with Ikena this morning. We probably will have more like it's African Software Summit. It's not going to be virtual. We will all converge maybe in Nigeria, Ghana, or Kenya. I don't know yet, but we're
Yeah.
going to plan that. Yeah. Have a big hall, have like a 2 days conference where people can come from different countries as testers, speak, educate, and share knowledge. So we'll be looking at. I mean, if you guys were excited, I would have been seeing some reactions on the screen. Well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's something that they're trying to absorb it. Of course, the sector about it's something they're trying to absorb now. Is a new
yeah,
thing in a way.
I was kidding. Yeah, but we're going to do that by the special grace of God. I think September. I'll check my itinerary. September we'll be having International Software Testers Day in Nigeria. It's going to be physical, but we're going to launch it on live. Also, I'm the vice president. Association of Nigerian Software Testers. We have thousands of testers in that association. I'm also a member of FinTech Association of Nigeria, where we have like 90% of all the companies, directors representing that particular group. So I'm a member of that group too. We God has been faithful, right? So Ghana is our brothers, although you guys always fight us on
Now,
Instagram.
now I'm stuck in between being a Ghanaian and Nigerian now. I won't say we because I'm also both. So
Yeah,
we are all the same. We,
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. No problem. Thank you very much, guys. Good to
much.
have you guys around. Yeah.
Ghana Jollof and Nigerian Jollof. I see Temitayo. We are good. We're good. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, everybody. Yeah. So I will send the emails to you. Thank you, Gospel, and then have a good one, guys. I will take up this and I will share with everyone of you here. Thank you so much and have a good one. Bye, guys.